I'm Spencer,
JD.
and we're at the Itch Network,
I am.
and we're here to review...
Castlevania, the Netflix series. All 4 episodes.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes, pretty short,
Fuck.
20 minutes each.
20 minutes each. They say 22, but it automatically starts you off with like, it cuts out the intro, and then it cuts out the ending credits.
Yeah.
So you never know who did it.
Yeah,
So-
well, I know who did it.
Who did it?
It was written by Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis.
Yeah. Who did things like... He did a lot of books, looks like.
Yeah.
All right.
He's booked. He's all booked up.
And, yeah, I mean, that's the major thing it has in here. The cast of Emily Swallow, Fred Tatasciore,
Yeah.
James Callis, Tony Amendola. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
All kinds of different
obviously very strange. I mean, we saw this one coming from a while ago. They announced it.
Yeah.
And then
Along with the Zelda. No, okay.
Yeah.
I think it was around that same time though, wasn't it?
Might have been, but
Sort of.
I don't think anybody picked up on it. And then like more recently they announced. By the way, Castlevania is coming.
Next
Soon.
week it'll be available.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Fuck.
And it will be an. They said it'll be an anime.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what was released? Maybe not officially by them, but it's kind of everybody's saying it's an anime.
It's gonna be animated, and I guess people were assuming anime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese developed, Japanese company, Japanese IP, but it's actually not an anime,
Now you define anime as it has to be made in Japan.
like a normal human being. Yes.
Well, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh yeah. So this was actually a Western production, Western and Canadian production. It's heavily inspired by anime, but it's technically not an anime. It uses a lot of the same tropes that they use. So like when people talk, it's just one mouth moving up and down instead of like trying to match the words and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Every single time. But yeah, it's a thing.
So it's an animated show.
Yeah.
4 episodes long.
4 episodes
and
long.
it's based around
Castlevania.
Castlevania. And where does this fall into the Castlevania
So
time?
this is Castlevania 3. This is technically a prequel because Castlevania 1 is, I forget, Castlevania 2 is Simon's Quest. And then Castlevania 3 is way back when. This is the first time that any Belmont actually fights Dracula. This is Trevor. This is, if we're looking at the entire story here, this is after Lament of Innocence, which is technically the first Castlevania. I forget the name of the Belmont, Leon, I think. Leon Belmont, who I think his dead wife, he crafts the vampire killer, and then goes after who he thinks is his homie. Turns out his homie turns into Dracula later on after they battle, I think, or something like that. Whatever. I haven't played it in a while. I haven't beaten it in a while. So I did beat it. It was fun. Fucking loved it. But moving
So
past
this
that,
one has characters like Trevor
Trevor.
is your main character.
Yep.
And then it has
Silpha.
Alucard.
Yeah, Alucard is in it.
And then Dracula.
And Dracula, of course.
And Dracula is heavily inspired by, obviously,
Vlad the Impaler.
Impaler. And they make a couple nods to it.
Yeah, sort of like how the
Like you gotta stop
impaling
people.
Yeah. Dracula. Dracula.
I know that line like stood out to me. It was like, you gotta stop impaling everybody.
Right.
Like, oh.
That's a Vlad thing to do. And then he's like,
Yeah,
right.
not wait, sorry.
He's like, I'm gonna change my name now. Thank you.
But yeah, it's interesting because this, like, Castlevania is known as, you know, like
Gothic
maybe
horror.
Not at the time. It wasn't Metroidvania.
No, it was not. It was supposed to be
Metroidvania was Symphony of the Night. That kind of kicked it off.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a horror. It was supposed to be a horror game, to be honest. Castlevania.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's why you have like bats and all that stuff. Everything's gothic and horror based.
Yeah.
You got Frankenstein's monster. You got all the different vampire like reincarnations, death in general.
Yeah.
All that shit. It was meant to be more like scary. It didn't pan out that way, but
Yeah, I mean, and
It's
to me, I
okay.
never saw it as a horror game. I always saw it as an action adventure.
maybe that person might be scared. they're still gonna kill that monster, so it's okay.
Yeah.
God, it's ghouls. Dead.
In this game, this show, I don't know if I would call it a horror.
Oh no, definitely not. I would say it's a dark fantasy.
Yeah, I would say more like.
And that's sort of the intent that the creators were going for, is sort of a Game of Thrones-esque take on Castlevania, which I think is actually pretty good mood-wise. It fits. It's going for that gothic tone of like despair and all that shit. And actually, the first episode starts off really just like sort of lighthearted. Really, it's a girl meets Dracula, and she's like, "Hey, yeah, you know, I want to learn about." Pretty much just science, like real actual shit.
Yeah.
And then Dracula's like, what about the dudes that practice religion? Oh, they'll learn. And then hard cuts to her just getting burned at the stake, and it's just like, what the fuck? And that's Dracula's first love, who he bangs and creates Alucard with. And if you've watched our Symphony of the Night stream, there's actually that scene that plays out there, where he goes back in time and the female vampires, I can't think of their name, is back there and she's like, oh, you know, don't worry, they don't know what they're doing and all that stuff. The exact same lines are being said because it's important for Alucard because that's his motivation, to be different from Dracula.
Well, this show has very strong religious, definitely not even undertones, like overtones.
Yeah,
like,
it's
like they are very much, the religious people are the bad guys, the villains in this.
Yeah, I mean Dracula's bad.
Even more so than Dracula, I would argue.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a good point. But I mean, that's an easy target, right?
Oh, very easy.
Religious zealots. I believe in the Christian God, and well, therefore I will kill your son.
Right. So they burn somebody at the stake.
Yeah, because it's
she's a witch.
Black magic. She's the witch.
Even though she's very clear, it was very. The show, I would say the subtlety isn't the show's strength. The show is very, very clear that she was interested in science. She mentioned it like at least 3 times.
How do you science do?
In the 3 minutes that she was in there.
Yeah.
And she's very clear that she was that.
When she's being burned, science!
Yeah, she's like, I just wanted science! and when they burned her at the stake, they're very angry. Everybody is. Except at the end. In the end, they do a little change, but I don't want to get too much into that. But
right.
But yeah, very clear who the villains are, both Dracula and the people that
just
he wrote. Which I'm curious how that's going to play out in the next episodes, because he's going into the
actual castle.
The castle.
Well, technically, there's another person that they've yet to meet, which is Grant, who is also a person in Castlevania 3 that plays an important role.
Okay.
He's a playable character. So they have to meet him, and I want to say he's a monster initially until he's freed or something along those effects. Like they beat him, and then he turns into his human form or something like that. So there's that to look forward to as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting kind of moving forward. Grant isn't shown, but it can be a surmise that he will play a role in it as well.
So what did you think about Trevor?
Initially, I didn't really like Trevor. Because
from the bar scene?
Yeah, from the bar scene. He's like, stop hitting my dick. I was like, yeah, stop. But, you know, as it progresses, and he's sort of, I guess you could say, starts to sober up. Because between those 4 episodes, he's really fucking drunk, and then sobers up by the 4th episode, in that sense.
It's almost like an RPG in and of itself.
Yeah.
Of him leveling up, but going backwards in drunkenness.
Well, it's only 3 episodes now I think about it where he's shown.
Yeah, because he basically starts really in episode 2.
Yeah, episode 1 they just show like the tail end. They're like, by the way, this is Trevor, and then cut.
Right.
So the first episode's all about just Dracula and understanding his motivations.
And he gets the shit kicked out of him in a bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it must be because he was so drunk at the beginning, and then slowly sobered up throughout. Because I mean, by the end,
yeah, he definitely knows what's going on.
He's fighting vampires. He's doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like. It was hard for me because I saw him at the beginning, and it makes sense now when I think about where he's drunk. But he's getting his ass kicked by just like normal people.
Right, no, I thought the same thing. I was like, motherfucker, like, come on. And he even says it, he's like, I have destroyed vampires. And then like when he's leaving, he's like, I hope you all bleed from your asses. And then he just like walks off and stuff like that. So,
but I think his character came off a little too strong on. Because he has a running theme throughout it where he says a constant phrase. You probably know what that phrase is, I'm guessing? Where he says, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
He's going to say that many times. and it.
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, guys, I'm not sure if this guy really cares.
Yeah.
But I think they really played that the anti-hero thing, like up until. But it's clear that he did care. It was very, very clear that he cared about.
Right.
That
He cared
group.
about the speakers.
Yeah, he cared
because
about them.
his family had ties with them, and
But he kept even to them. He was like, I don't care.
He's
He
like,
told them I don't care.
well, he's like, I'm gonna rescue your son, and then y'all get the fuck out of here, and then that's it. Like he didn't even care about rescuing the town, really, and technically speaking, still didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He only wanted to rescue the speakers.
I don't know. I just think that his character probably should have cared or not been so. Maybe that's a small critique because I think overall we both liked it.
Yeah, I think. Well, here's the thing: is also you got to look at his character from the standpoint of, according to this, the Belmonts practice black magic as well, right? And they're
bitter.
hated. Yeah, he might be bitter, so maybe that's why he's like low profile, doesn't really care. But he says it to people as a defense mechanism. But in at the end of the day, he cares about at the very least the speakers, and stopping that, and kind of moves forward with stopping Dracula because he's like. We gotta cut this shit out.
But that's the thing is he didn't have to.
He didn't have to. You're right.
So it shows that he certainly cares, and maybe that's supposed to be the growth.
Yeah,
Character
development.
growth,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just came out too strong for me. But it makes sense. That's how people like their characters these days.
Right.
They like them kind of tough.
What the fuck, Rosie?
But yeah, he was very funny. Which
Yeah,
is good.
He was very funny. And
Especially him getting beaten up.
yeah, stop punching me in the dick, or your vampire Jesus over here. It's like, damn, man. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because they make a point of pointing out just that he actually is skilled. God damn. Anyway, they make a point of pointing out how skilled he is. Right?
Yeah.
Like initially, he's like when he fights and he's very perceptive. He's like, oh, why would a priest be having a thief's dagger or whatever? And when he's fighting that guy, he really doesn't care. And then he just whips his eye out. Of all the things, he just.
I like the whip.
Yeah.
The whip animation, especially in the later fight,
Yeah.
was gorgeous.
Very good. Yeah, and that's actually really reminiscent of a lot of anime. That sort of style of fighting is actually very common in anime, but done very well. In this case, because especially the scene where he whips the dude in the eye, and then when he fights the Cyclops, and then what's cool is it's an actual anime. And then he's like, he has a bestiary, he's familiar with it, so he's like, this is how you take out this Cyclops. And he's like, come on, you're dead. He's like, no, you're dead. And all that stuff. It's kind of cool to see that. It gives off a sort of like a roguish sort of, because he's very. He's like a realistic take on it. Like if you're fighting actually monsters and stuff like that, you're like, you're dead. Like, get the fuck out of here. He talks a lot, but not in a way it's annoying. At least it wasn't annoying to me.
No, yeah. I thought that was weird. That scene was cool, but it's weird that it transitioned to that because remember when he falls into the thing, like a couple stories. I mean, he's pretty invincible throughout.
Yeah.
He's like
he got hit in the balls pretty hard.
yeah, a couple times. He fell from like 2 stories a couple times. I mean, this is basically parole violators. The anime.
And he won't stop.
Under arrest for parole violation. For the most part.
Getting the shit kicked out of him. Not from the enemies so much, but from the falls were pretty intense. And then he's like, I'm gonna take you back, and then like move back.
He's back.
Like way out of the thing. I thought that's where it was gonna go, is him trying to get out.
Yeah.
It was gonna be more of a thing, but it was literally like that.
There's probably stairs.
Yeah.
He's like, I found the stairs.
Yeah, I found some stairs like in the next room over, and just didn't show it.
Should have paid more attention, I think. But, and then obviously it leads to the last scene where the city is being attacked, and it's a lot of,
And we learned that, well, I guess, like...
Selpha is
Yeah.
Selpha's a girl.
We got mages
We got mages. We
got
black magic.
We got salt.
We got salt.
Right, that's what it was, right?
Yeah, and it kind of shows him being more like a leadership role.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like I said, knowledgeable.
And I think that was supposed to be where the growth was he becomes the leader at the end.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see him go. So it was kind of like a prequel to a Castlevania game. This whole
Sorta.
4-episode thing.
Well, I mean, in 3, he meets all the characters, so he's already interacting with his castle doing that stuff.
Right, I assume so.
But yeah.
But in this one,
much.
it's basically a prequel to what I assume would be a larger chunk.
Yeah,
Castlevania
it
series?
was renewed, I think, for 8 or 12 episodes. One of those.
I would assume 20.
I'd want a whole lot
Big,
more.
like an episode, or...
An anime is usually like 12 for basic ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then there's other ones that go up to like 20 or 25, like Code Geass, I think, had 25, and season 2 is 25. Same thing, I think, with Death Note. And then you get your shonens like Dragon Ball Z that just keep going.
Yeah.
So, or One Piece or Naruto. But yeah, like for 4 episodes, there's a lot of interest around it. The fights are really interesting. It was nice to see, especially the last fight in particular. You have pretty much 2 heroes fighting each other and like duking it out and stuff like that.
And then it kind of ends with the 3 walking
Away to the...
When we're going, basically Castlevania starts.
Yeah.
What's the song?
Yeah. Gonna whip it up. Not X-Men, buddy.
Oh, I see the X-Men thing. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, not quite.
They sound similar. You gotta admit, there's a similar thing to it.
Yeah, there's some common traits there, right?
Trevor, it's good.
Trevor's got stuck on his. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I actually watched it 3 times over, I think. Once, just straight watching it. The second, I think I was watching it while I was playing like Final Fantasy or something. And the third time, I just had it on in the background. But I was watching it the parts that I cared about. Like the first episode's all about motivation. The second and third is setting the tone. Then the last one is here's what we're gonna do for the next. So.
Yeah, you know what I thought it was gonna be, and I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't. But I see why they did it the way they did. I kind of thought it was gonna go the Dark Souls approach, but as a TV show, which would be like
very limited dialogue.
Kind of like he goes in, he's in the castle already, and they would kind of do flashbacks maybe, or they would do little things that triggered, like why am I here and what's going on.
I don't know. I hate flashback exposition stuff. That's why I'm happy they just told it all in one single go.
Yeah.
Like it's a consistent timeline.
I think if they wanted to establish the character, which they clearly did of Trevor, then they had to do it this way.
Yeah.
So I now get why they did it, but I would like to see them do like a Dark Souls show, where you can kind of see it as it goes.
Yeah.
And you kind of piece the story together as you're playing through it. And I thought that's what they would do, because Castlevania has always been kind of that, like, pick it up as you go along.
Right.
Not as much as Dark Souls is, obviously.
Right. And who knows? I mean, there's still the possibility they might take that route with some of the other character motivations, because while they talk about Silpha, the stuff with Alucard, they might go into more detail on his side, or whatever the case is. And there might be the opportunity for doing another Belmont in the future. They might do Sympathy of the Night. Who knows? They might go into Dracula X and then do Richter's stuff, and then like as a prequel thing where he's like just going through the castle tearing it up. Do like 4 episodes of that, and then the rest is Sympathy of the Night. Who knows?
I'd be into it.
Yeah.
Sympathy, I'm surprised they didn't start with Sympathy of the Night.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I think.
Don't you think that's like more popular?
It's absolutely more popular, but I think explaining the origins of the villain is important. Your hero's only as good as your villain. I think they did a good job showing that stuff, because Alucard, that's the first time he's relevant, and then he is in 3 and he doesn't get revisited until Sympathy of the Night, and then after that it's Aria of Sorrow, and then after that it's whatever. So that's whatever.
Did you recommend it?
Yes, it's free. Well, I mean it's $9, but if you know someone who has a Netflix account, it's a simple day of just watching it.
Yeah, it's almost like an hour.
Yeah,
I mean it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, just story stuff. The pacing's fine. You're not going to be like, oh, this is so boring.
I think the only detriment to me was that it was, and like I said, it was basically a prequel, not even a prequel, like a what did I say? It's like a lead up to a game.
Yeah, it's a setup.
It's a setup. It's all set up for them to be in a castle.
Right.
So if you're looking for like the whole
spiel,
going through a castle, fighting all the creatures,
that's next year.
It's like a little bit, but yeah, like there's not a lot of it. It's mostly just setting up the characters, which is important. But again, it's only 4 episodes long.
It's only 4 episodes, so give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
All right. Well, I'm JD.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm JD.
And I'm Spencer.
And I'm JD.
And this is the Itch Network. I'm Spencer.
And this is episode.
He's broken.
Stop. All right. Oh, God. Thanks for watching. Don't hit my dick.